in Arizona at the 2024 Men's Final Four. Brandon Costa from Sports Video Group. Thrilled to be joined by Andrew Bay from Purdue, the team that's been slugging away trying to get at this thing, and they're here. Andrew, thank you so much for taking the time for us on a very, very busy weekend. How are you and the team holding up?
Doing well, tired, obviously. It's a lot of work, a lot of stuff going on, and, time zone change is fun, obviously, but, team's going to be ready. Will I be? We'll see. But I don't have to shoot the basketball, so that's good news.
There you go. Well, as you were kind of saying when we were saying hello, events like these, this is the dream. This is what you fight for. But when you get here, it's a lot of work. So how have you and your team along the way, while dealing with the last 2 weekends of the NCAA tournament as well, how have you prepared for what you were going to do this weekend from a content production side?
Yeah, we're pretty big on preparing for success, and just, a lot of people don't want to talk about stuff because jinxing and everybody works in sports as a sports fan. You have your jinxes and whatever, but we were just like, we've been kind of talking about what are we going to do, who are we going to bring, what's going to happen, for kind of since the tournament started. Maybe I think even before we went to the Big Ten tournament, we were like, all right, what as we keep going, what are we going to do? And I'm lucky to be at Purdue. They really value what we do, and they're willing to put money into it. And so we've got 3 videographers here, and then we also have our director of broadcast, who they're doing some live stuff, and he's capturing all of our media availabilities and stuff. So, we've got 4 people here capturing stuff, and we'll have 3 people shooting the game. And so, it's just kind of looking at our schedules and kind of being like, hey, we'll capture everything and we'll kind of digest it as we get back. We've got some day-to-day content as we're going, but, the big story is going to be after Monday night. So we're, go win Saturday, figure it out from there, go win Monday, and then, hoist a trophy and try to make some videos.
So obviously your guys are going to produce some really cool stuff here over the course of the weekend, hopefully through Monday. But when you look back on the run, Big Ten tournament, NCAA tournament so far, what's a piece of content or two or a theme that maybe you guys are proud of what you've been able to accomplish so far?
Yeah, we've really leaned into kind of the longer form storytelling. It's kind of one that's just kind of my skill set. I'm not a super talented creative editor. I'm not bad at it, but I'm not. That's not my skill. That's not what's going to make us special or different. Sure. But having the J school background, the journalism school background at Oklahoma State, I learned how to tell stories with video, and with audio, which is even more important. And that's kind of the thing we've leaned into. And then our Elite 8 recap, just I went 12 minutes on it, which is pretty long. But again, it was a big moment. 44 years, our fans have been waiting for a long time. And, probably the coolest moment in there is I was just scrolling through the radio broadcast. I was looking for a different call from something. I think it was an offensive rebound. And TV went to a break that our radio guys didn't take. So they're just chatting about the game. And, they said, story of the game is we're, Boilers, number 1 3-point shooting team in the country, is 2 for 15 from 3. And then our color guy's is someone in the old gold and black going to step up and hit the shot? And, a minute and a half later he does. Lance Jones hits that 3, and, place goes crazy, and, it was awesome. And I actually looked over at my second shooter who was there with me in the corner and was just like, mark that. Cause I was because it's immediate. It's that's going to last forever. And so, getting to tell that story, and then you have just all the stuff that's happening, before the game. We had tons of fans at the hotel. After the game, we had thousands of fans at the airport when we got home, and just getting to capture all that. So it ended up being a long story, but it's one of those moments where you go long because you have to. You got to put everything in there, and I'm team cut stuff down. I tell my students all the time, not every good shot that you get has to go in the video. Maybe I didn't listen to my own advice on this one, but I think it's one of those moments that you can go long when you make the Final Four.
I think the fans are watching. I'll forgive you on that one. You mentioned the historical significance of this. Obviously, 4+ decades that a legendary program from the state of Indiana is back here in the Final Four. Obviously, there's a lot. You come to an event like this, and everyone wants to drive engagement and light up social and everything. But just how important is that part of your job to make sure that you are actually archiving the history of what this is?
Yeah, no, there's a guy in the comms department at Oklahoma State, Kevin Clintworth, who would always tell his students, don't be the gap in the history book. And that's kind of how I feel about our video stuff. Obviously we're going to turn stuff around quick. We're going to get stuff out now. We're going to tell the story now, but we're also going to tell the story later. We're going to tell the story in 25 years. And I and my team will not be the gap in the history book, because I know how frustrating it is to go back and it's like, oh, it's, Glenn Robinson in 1994, and we have a 10-minute highlight tape, and that's it. And so we're going to have terabytes of footage of Zach Edey and terabytes of footage of this Final Four run. And I think that's that's the most important part of this job. You got to tell the story now, but yeah, we're going to be celebrating this one for a long time, so make sure we got the video to celebrate it with.
Now, you're probably going to say to me here, like, hey, we haven't even played the Final Four game yet, but if you were to give advice to a creative program or a fellow creative like yourself in another athletic department that maybe hasn't gone through a run like this before, if they were to face the good problem of their team doing exceptionally well, how would you help them prepare, or what would your advice be to them to be prepared for the moment that they're facing?
Yeah, I mean, have a lot of memory cards that, you never know when the thing is going to happen. That is going to be, whether it's the viral moment, whether it's the sweet moment, whether it's the, whatever moment that's going to live for a long time. Whether, we had a clip go viral this year and it was one of our guys dancing, and I literally sent it to our SID, which is like kind of like LOL, like, let's post this, it's stupid. And it has like 25 million views on Instagram. And it was literally just like, and you just don't know what you're going to get. And so have a lot of memory, set your audio levels. And, I think the one thing that Purdue has done is they've invested in us, which is really cool. It means a lot to be in a place that is like, hey, this is an important part of what we do. I think people, obviously, like, I like my job, so I like to say that I'm really important. And I know that I am, 35 on the travel list of 35 for men's basketball. But, people always say picks or it didn't happen. And that's why we're here, is to make sure that we can tell all of our fans and bring all of our fans along. We can only get 80,000 people or whatever in here. Not everybody can afford to fly across the country. I know flights from Indy were nuts, apparently. And so, we want to share the story with everybody. To me, that's what's so important is, there's people who have been Purdue fans for their whole lives, have never been to Mackey, who definitely aren't going to be able to get here. Maybe people who were there for the Final Four in 1980 who can't travel now. And I want them to be a part of this experience just as much as everybody else. And so that, to me, that's what we're here to do. And so that goes super away from the advice question you asked me, but lots of memory, have your audio level set, and then hope that you have good teammates, because I know I do, and it makes a world of difference. That first weekend I was on my own, and I almost cried the whole time. And ever since, we've had people, and it's helped a lot. So invest, bring multiple cameras, bring multiple people, and then just hit record and see what happens.
All right, Andrew. Well, on a very busy weekend, we appreciate you taking the time for us. Thanks so much for sharing your expertise with the crowd, and best of luck with everything this weekend. We wish you guys nothing but the best.
Thank you very much.
All right, for more of everything going on here at the 2024 Men's Final Four, head on over to sportsvideo.org.